Hey, what's up, everybody? Man, we have a big match for you today as we are in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, playing against Alabama, who are a much better team than us with a much better reputation. And I'm not quite sure where the stadium's supposed to be, but doesn't look like anything I've seen in the United States. Looks like we have a sold-out crowd here. I'm not quite sure what the capacity of the stadium is, but whatever that capacity might be, I'm also quite convinced that it's probably not rendered all that well in this save, but that's okay. We can live with whatever it is that we're given. We will be forgiving to a football manager. We have a problem here, especially with the absence of Chris Gallagher after he was unceremoniously dismissed after our last match with that red card. It's going to be interesting to see how we recover without having him in the back. I'm not quite sure why we're seeing all this jittering in the graphics engine, which is something that we haven't seen in recent matches, and that again has me a little bit concerned. I'm not seeing any sort of overload from OBS, so I think it's all right. Matt Williams with it over to Meza, back to Matt Williams, over to Garcia. Garcia finds Martin, and he lumps it forward to Aldana, and it's a poor play by Flint for Alabama. Aldana has a shot on goal, and as I said before, man, if we had that goal set up there maybe in like the 10th row or something like that, we would lead the league in scoring, because we've done a really good job of hitting that every single time. Williams, the other Williams here for Alabama, the goalkeeper knocks it back, and Doe gets to it to Martin. Martin passes it back to Matt Williams, and he will penetrate a little bit, passes to Garcia, who's double-teamed, and not a very good move there by Garcia, the youngster. Sharapov has it over to Jones, to Golesuvsky, takes a shot from a little bit of range, and that one goes over, and that's the end of that move. And man, I'm telling you, we have the graphics settings down as far as we possibly can, and we're still having some problems here. Maybe because this is a night match and because the shadows are out or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. And Jones has that header right to Korn. Korn is able to catch that, thankfully. And that is not a goal for Alabama, but we are in trouble in this match. It's Son Hyun Taek who is suspended. He's the defensive midfielder, as well as Chris Gallagher. One of the problems that I've had, because I haven't been able to do real transfers, is that I can't get more defensive midfielders, which is something we definitely need, sorely need. Jimenez passes it to Alpha Doe. Doe finds Daly over on the side, and he tries to thread one through to Aldana, but that one is intercepted. However, Jimenez is back on to get that header in the back, and goes back to Korn, to Williams, to Meza. Meza passes to Daly again. Daly will try it again, and there's a little exploratory pass to Bowden, goes back to Daly. Daly knocks it forward to Martin, and that one is knocked out for a throw. So it was a good idea. It was definitely creative, I'll give you that. Bowden with this pass back to Daly, as we can see here again, and that was an excellent sort of thread-the-needle type pass, and unfortunately we just weren't quite not able to get a goal at the end of that. It's Alabama with a throw in, and that's going to, oh man, we're lucky that Sharapov didn't shoot at all. Korn is able to get onto that one. I'm not sure what happened there. That should have been a goal for Alabama. I really don't see what happened there at all. It's Alabama winning this one back, and it's Spencer over to Lewington. Lewington and Garcia, fortunately for us, is able to take it off. Garcia, the youngster, showing some of his speed, passes it forward to Aldana, who might be offside, and his shot is deflected anyway. It doesn't really matter either way. Ends up with Dean Williams, their goalie, and we will continue moving forward. Sharapov over to Lewington, and unfortunately we're able to get it back off. It's Shivas to Martin, back to Jimenez, and over to Matt Williams. Pass goes up to Garcia, and the game's sort of smoothed out a little bit here. Bowden decides to pass instead of taking the shot. I'm not sure what happened there. Daly had a shot, but not from a good angle. Bowden was standing there all alone with absolutely prime real estate. I see what he did. He saw the defender coming and decided to pass to the side instead, but he could have moved it around the defender. I don't know. Not a very well-played move there on his part. We're having a lot of poor performances so far from these players. Korn able to, fortunately for us, to make the save on that free kick, but it's getting a little bit dangerous. And Martin gets the ball and is instantly surrounded by players, but it does go out to Garcia over to Bowden with the shot. And unfortunately, again, for us, this one is headed away and taken away. And Sharapov is fouled by Alpha Doe, and that's a really cynical foul by Alpha Doe. That's ridiculous for him to do that. We'll take another look here at this highlight. They're just going to show that as the highlight. That's ridiculous. That's not a clear-cut chance. It's about in midfield. Somebody tell me what's going on with this game. That doesn't make any sense. I thought the highlight was going to be of something that happened before. That was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Connolly passes to Flint over to White. White to Spencer. I'm starting to get my upset with Football Manager feeling going, and Jones scores the first goal for Alabama. And I told you we're in trouble. We are. We don't have much of a defense. And Alpha Doe standing there with his hands on his head saying, what do I have to do? And Korn did a pretty poor job of trying to defend this. But I can see it's Alpha Doe who should have won that ball off, and he didn't. And Korn is just no man's land. I mean, you're going to do that. You either need to go further forward or you need to stay back. I'd prefer him to stay back. But, I mean, this was really, really poorly played. Matt Williams having a poor game. Let's see if we can pull this one out of the fire, boys. So I'm not sure it's going to happen. Aldana's decided not to show up. And maybe this tactic isn't as dominant as we thought, huh? Lewington over, and Jimenez is there, fortunately, to intercept that to Garcia. Passes down to Daly. It wasn't even clear who he was passing it to. Bowden with the cross and Martin with the header, and that's, again, this time it's into the second row, so it would have missed if that goal was up in the 10th row. But maybe that's one of the drills that we do. I don't know. Maybe go ask Max over at Evidence-Based Football Manager. Is that written into this? Take drills where we shoot the ball at the 10th row. Connolly knocks this one up. Korn is only able to kick it out or punch it out instead of making the save. And as a reward for his efforts, he has to make another save. So that was a kind of ridiculous performance there by Korn. And we have some problems. I thought Korn was one of the best goalkeepers in this league. And but that's almost another goal, and we have a problem. 1-0 Alabama. We look really bad, and we're going to have to make some changes. I guess I was supposed to say something positive there, so I said it. As you can tell, I hate to say it, and it is a little bit because of this save being kind of a temporary thing that is the way I'm thinking about it. I'm sort of doing whatever the assistant manager says. Sir, yes, sir. Off comes Aldana. We're going to put Celestine Herman on. And we're going to take off Grant Martin, who's having a really, really poor game, put on Jim Rocha, who hopefully will be able to do something more for us. Let's see what we can do here in the second half. But Aldana was just totally stymied and silenced by this Alabama defense. And I'm worried that we have a bunch of boys against men here, and Daly's going to be called for the foul. No yellow card for him, thankfully. And thankfully, even more, the highlight ends there, which is an important thing. Wanted to take a look at the stats and see what the audience, what the crowd looks like here. We're knocking down to 18th position. Alpha Doe with that header that ends up sort of sitting on top of the crossbar, and that's the end of that. And, this won't even tell me what it's here in the summary. There we go. We're at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa, and we have 97,544 there present. It doesn't look like 90,000 people. It doesn't even look close to that. We have a problem here. Daryl Daly has been injured, and we're going to have to put Mutenya on, and that is definitely replacing an adult with a child. We have a problem. We have a big problem. Let's see if we can pull this one out of the fire, because it's not looking good. Back pass to Korn, which I always hate to see. Doe passes it back to Korn, goes to Jimenez and to Doe, who knocks it forward. He finds Bowden, and Bowden has a pretty poor first touch on it, but is able to pull it down over to Garcia, up to Rocha, back to Garcia. Thread that needle over to Bowden, and that's just a pad. Oh, that was blocked, I guess, by Flint. I thought it was just a poor shot by Bowden, but no, it was blocked, so it means a corner for us. We're down to 19th position now. Bowden knocks this corner up, looking for Doe, and just can't find him, and Williams is there to make the catch for Alabama. That is the end of that. We'll push ahead, and Alpha Doe's having a poor match. And Daly is understanding that he was taken off because he's carrying an injury. Yeah, I bet. I mean, the game forced me to take you off, man. If you can't walk, you can't play. Alabama may wind up with a 1-0 victory. We're not looking like creating anything. Flores here with a free kick, and thankfully for us, that header was off target. Flint now with another free kick over to Venables, over to Alexandro. Alexandro takes a shot. Korn is able to grab that, and it looked like it took the wind out of him. And pretty nice animation there. I was complaining about Football Manager earlier there in this match, but that actually was pretty good. I kind of like the animation there on Korn catching that when you could feel the ferocity of that shot. What are we doing? Why are we lumping it forward like that? Garcia almost getting another yellow card. Meza with it now over to Bowden, who knocks it backwards for some reason to Jimenez, and it's knocked up for Celeste Herman, and he's nowhere near it. And here is Celeste Herman, and he doesn't know where the goal is. And we have a couple more minutes of extra time to play. And BYU is going to take its first loss of the season. I don't see how we're going to get this one back. Meza says, give it to me. I'm going to push it forward, and he pushes it forward to the defense. Final score is Alabama 1, BYU nothing. And, we were lucky, I think, for a long time in this season, and we're not lucky anymore. So I'll talk with Mr. Knapp about this. Possession, we're supposed to be the ones with 59% of possession. Didn't happen this time around. And as we can see, the tactics maybe are not so magical, are they? There might be other things involved. We'll see what happens, and we'll see if we can survive the hit to morale we're going to take from this one. Final score again, Alabama 1, BYU nothing. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.